Students, I am glad to meet you all. By the way, I welcome you all to listen to the video class. Today, you are going to learn and listen the story from the supplementary reader, A Shot in the Dark. What is the title? A Shot in the Dark, which is written by Hughie Munar under the pen name Shaki. I hope you are all like stories. Now look at the title, A Shot in the Dark by Shaki. Can you guess the meaning for this title? It means a wide guess, yet another one is a hopeful attempt. Now you are going to see the introduction of the story. Introduction. This is an amusing story that describes how a man who considered himself smart and very observant finds that he had mistaken the genuine plea of a standard youth. It points out that sometimes truth is misinterpreted and people who think they are acting wisely really they are not always right. The feelings and actions of fellow human beings have to be trusted and given due respect. Students, before going to know about the story deeply, let's know about the author of this story. He was a British writer. He was born on 18th December 1870 under the pen name Shaki Munro. 138 short stories, 5 plays, 2 novels, political satires and essays. He was considered a master of the short story, often compared to O. Henry. Besides his short stories, he wrote a full-length play too, The Watched Part, in collaboration with Charles Moore. Students, now you are going to listen the theme of the story. Theme: misconception. In the story, A Shot in the Dark, Philip Slitherby traveled by train towards Bilmanar. His intention of traveling was to get a seat in the Parliament re-election. He relied on one lady named Jago, an influential lady. His companion on the train introduced himself as Batty. Students, let me introduce the main characters of this story. Philip Slitherby, a man who aspires to become a politician. Mrs. Jago, a rich and influential lady of high rank. Battery, son of Mrs. Jago. Clark People Casey, a friend of Slitherby. Here you are going to know about their family crest. The first one, the Salfan crest, was a demi-lion holding a crosslet in the paw. The second one, the Jago crest, was a grey hound. Both were used in the family. Now, let's know about the characters one by one. Philip Slitherby, main character. Philip Slitherby was portrayed as a person who made a careful analysis of people before he helped people out, especially when he wanted to lend money for others. He never ever blindly believed the people going by what they say. Mr. Philip Slitherby was a politician, but much known to the people of Jago. He wishes to contest for a MP seat to Yorkshire with the recommendation of a level-headed woman, namely Mrs. Alfred Jago. Fortunately, he had been invited to spend the weekend with her at Brilmanar. He believed that his political pilgrimage would turn out to be a blessing. There was something mean about his unwillingness to show any interest in the affairs of an angry young travelling companion. Mr. Philip Slitherby loved things and used people to advance his career prospects. At the very beginning, he doubted the credential of Batty, who introduced himself as the younger son of Mrs. Salfan Jago. Philip Slitherby was having the knowledge of judging the people, though the young man wanted only £3. He squeezed him with many questions about his royal crest and contradicts him with his ice-cold logic. He was proud of having laid a trap, saying he had never seen his mother. He offered to assist the young man in distress, but when Batty wanted to leave, he refused to part with money, saying that his mom was a pronounced blonde. He prided himself for his cleverness, but he was shocked to see the double crest on the car's door panel. Demi-lion holding a crosslet in his paw and a grey hound. Philip Slitherby, petrified to learn Mr. Casey that Mrs. Salfan Jago had recently dyed her beautiful dark brown hair black. Mr. Slitherby realized that his cleverness has in reality turned out to be his meanness. He really troubled himself that his political future may be lost due to the 3-pound debacle, he has proved himself penny wise and pound. Students, now I am going to introduce Mrs. Jago. She was a clever thinker. She knew exactly when to take up an individual or a social cause. Being a lady of discernment, she may choose to drop a person if she found him unworthy of her attention. She was an influential woman and brilliant woman also. But occasionally she was eccentric. She spoiled herself and her chance by being too restless. No wonder Batty too became restless, like his mom. She used to have beautiful dark brown hair which gelled well with her fresh complexion. Recently, she had electrified people by dyeing it blonde. She had, in fact, ruined her looks. Casey unravels many details about Mrs. Jago. It was obvious that her influence in Jago was more due to her affluence and large estate than her personality traits. Her inconstant nature was obvious in her ability to raise someone from the gutters to the top or drop someone. She did not like the thing charming about her. She used to treat her guests as well as a good hostess. Battery character. Now we are going to see battery character. Students, now we are going to see Cloud People Casey. Cloud People Casey. A friend of Slitherby was received by Claude People Casey. Slitherby came to know that Batty's mother, Jago, had changed her dark brown hair to a blonde just 5 weeks ago. Then only Slitherby could realize that Batty had not lied to him. He realized that he had mistaken him for a fraud. Students, now we are going to listen the key points of the story. Philip Slitherboy was traveling by train to Brilmanor. His companion in the train was searching for something. The young man introduced himself as Baji, the son of Safan Jago. He had left his purse behind and so he needed the 3 pounds desperately. He asked Stritherby to lend it to him. He explained that the serpent crest was that of a demi-lion and his mother's hair was dark brown, similar to his hair. Suspecting foul play, Stritherby did not give him any money. Slitherby was received by Cloud People Casey. He kept on talking to Slitherby about various things. On the door panel of the car, there were two crests, Demi-Line and a Greyhound Courant. While describing the appearance of Mrs. Salfan Jago, Casey referred to her altered hairstyle. Slitherby was dumbstruck on hearing this. He then realized that Batty had not lied to him, but that he had mistaken him for a fraud. Students, you could see the continuation of part 1 in the next video session. Thank you, children.